From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Thursday, September 3rd, and right now on Good Morning Indiana. The state is using a new dashboard to help schools determine whether or not to hold in-person classes. Working for you, we're breaking down what the colors and numbers mean for your child's school district.
It is scary, and with all the symptoms being pretty similar.
As the pandemic continues, flu season is right around the corner, which is raising concerns that both could overwhelm our local hospitals. What experts are recommending you do to stay safe.
Masks are now a part of our everyday lives, and wearing them for long periods of time can have an impact on your skin health.
Now I'm seeing it more in teenagers and younger school-age kids who've been wearing their masks to school.
Our Kelsey Anderson spoke with a dermatologist about tips to prevent mask acne.
The interest payment just came like 3 weeks ago. It just showed up on a whim in my bank account.
And some Hoosiers have been receiving checks from the IRS. WRTV Investigates found out this is not a scam and why the money is being given out.
And here at 6 o'clock, I want to thank you for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday. I'm Lauren Casey. Rafael Sanchez is taking a much-deserved break, and so we have Nicole Griffin joining us in studio. Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Lauren. Good morning. Happy to be here as always. And meteorologist Todd Klassen standing by. Todd, you have been telling us this morning it just depends where you live, what you're going to see when you walk out the door.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Nicole. Just 5-10 miles makes a big difference for what weather you could be seeing. For example, as you look at our visibilities in Kokomo, there's a dense fog advisory that's in place, and the visibility is down to 1/10 of a mile. You get just north of Kokomo into the Peru area, and no advisory and visibility of 10 miles. Just to the east of Kokomo, Fairmount, Gas City, visibilities are up over 5 miles, but you go to the west and it's only 3/10 of a mile as you make your way into Lafayette as well as Crawfordsville to the south and to the east. No visibility issues here this morning, but there is a dense fog advisory for the counties in gray that you see there. It does include Howard County up into portions of Carroll County as well as Tippecanoe County and then down to Vigo County and Terre Haute. Live look downtown though, where there's no visibility issues. The temperature in Indy's at 69, but look at Kokomo. You're down to 60 degrees, and that's one of the reasons why the fog has settled in there in northern locations. The skies cleared, the temperatures dropped, and then that fog settled in compared to Bloomington at 71 degrees because in Bloomington there was more clouds. There were some rain showers, although most of the showers are out of Bloomington now, and for the most part are getting ready to move out of central Indiana as a whole. We'll get into some sunshine here this afternoon with partly cloudy skies, so it turns into a decent day. Temperature into the low to mid 80s. This evening, though, another round of showers possible as we work our way into the 8 o'clock hour and beyond as a cold front comes through. That front, though, sets us up for a fabulous Friday forecast. More on that coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic near Monrovia, I-70 here, a view near Hazelwood Road. And you can see some of that reduced visibility in the headlights that are moving across your screen. So just use caution out there if you happen to come across an area of lowered visibility or fog. Make sure to use those low beam headlights and take it slow. Leave plenty of space between you and the car in front of you. Right now, looking around the metro area, no crashes, no major delays to slow down your Thursday commute. It is 6:04. State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Bach says officials are making it easier to track COVID-19 cases in our state. A new color-coded map is up on the Department of Health website.
It's meant to help school and local officials understand the level of community spread in their counties and make decisions based off that information. The colors are blue, yellow, orange, and red. Blue is the least restrictive and red is the most. Each color corresponds with recommendations for school districts.
Blue indicates minimal community spread. The recommendations would be that schools operate all grades in person, but limit activities where social distancing is not feasible. Red counties are experiencing high community spread. For these counties, the recommendations would be that grade schools could remain in person or consider hybrid learning, and that middle and high schools consider virtual learning.
Again, those are recommendations, not requirements. The system is slightly updated from metrics announced last week. A county's color code will be determined by the number of new cases and the % positivity rate.
And this morning, federal officials are predicting a possible surge of COVID-19 here in the Midwest. According to a FEMA analysis, the percent positivity rate has climbed 0.7% over the last 2 weeks in our region of the country. That report says the outbreaks on college campuses in Indiana and Ohio may be contributing to that spread. And that report comes as more than 1,000 Indiana University students are under quarantine. Members of 30 fraternities and sororities at IU Bloomington have been instructed to isolate for 14 days. That list has more than tripled in less than a week. Students are being asked to leave the houses and find an alternative place to quarantine. They should return home or work with an organization to find a suitable location. Last Thursday, IU announced quarantine orders for 8 Greek houses due to, quote, alarming increases in positive test kits. Well, meanwhile, the Montgomery County Health Department has identified a cluster of COVID cases at Wabash College. In a release on Wednesday, the health department announced 20 new cases of the virus, 14 of which were students on the college campus. The department says in addition to common mitigation strategies, Wabash has created a surveillance program to quickly identify students with COVID-19. That program includes random testing and an app to monitor symptoms of students and staff. Students who test positive are isolated and cared for by staff on campus. Close contacts are then identified through contact tracing. In most cases, they're sent home to quarantine.
Taking a look now at the latest statewide coronavirus numbers from the Department of Health, the number of Hoosiers who have tested positive for COVID-19 is now at 95,750. 871 additional cases were reported Wednesday. That's 150 more than were reported Tuesday, but down from Monday and the weekend. The overall positivity rate remains at 8.8%. The state also reported an additional 13 deaths. More than 3,100 Hoosiers have now died with the virus. Today, we expect to get an update on Marion County numbers. Mayor Joe Hogsett and Marion County Public Health Director Dr. Virginia Kane will give an overview of the COVID-19 picture as well as an update a few aspects of current restrictions. You can watch that live at WRTV.com and on the WRTV app at 10:30 this morning.
Well, new this morning, the NCAA says it will furlough its entire Indianapolis-based staff for a period of up to 8 weeks. That move will affect about 600 employees. According to a memo obtained by the Associated Press, the furloughs will start September 21st and go through the end of January. All national office staff will be subjected to a mandatory 3-week furlough. Some staff will be furloughed for up to 8 weeks.
Well, every year around this time, doctors start to share warnings about the upcoming flu season. And this year, experts say those warnings are more important than ever.
Yeah, so health officials are hoping to avoid what they're calling a twindemic, as the flu and COVID-19 spread could happen at the same time. Our own Alyssa Donovan is joining us live this morning with what you need to know. Good morning, Alyssa.
Good morning. And flu cases typically start showing up in early fall in communities and peaking in late winter. But this year, health experts are urging people to get their flu shots nice and early to prevent what they're calling, as you said, a twindemic. Now, that's to hopefully avoid a severe flu season at the same time as the country is fighting COVID-19. Health experts have been looking to the southern hemisphere, paying attention to countries like Australia, where they are currently in flu season. While many have seen a steep decrease in flu activity down there compared to past years, health officials here are concerned the U.S. will not have the same luck. There is concern that the medical system will be overloaded trying to care for both COVID-19 patients and a surge of flu patients, which is why health officials want you to take action as soon as possible.
The advice by the CDC has always been get the flu shot as soon as the vaccine is available. You want to be vaccinated before the first cases of flu begin to show up, because if you wait, it takes your body up to 2 weeks to produce antibodies. And therefore, if you're exposed during that immune building period, you could get sick.
COVID-19 and flu symptoms are similar, presenting with cough, fever, and body aches. Flu can also cause digestive issues like some cases of COVID-19. And flu shots are in stock at doctors' offices, pharmacies, and supermarkets across central Indiana right now. I've seen signs just driving to work this morning, so you can get yours as soon as today if you want it. For more details on where to get a flu shot, you can go to WRTV.com. Reporting live, I'm Alyssa Donovan, WRTV.
Alyssa, thank you. So we know last week Governor Holcomb extended the mask up mandate for another month here, and many Hoosiers are finding themselves having to wear their masks all day long. This morning, WRTV's own Kelsey Anderson joins us live with the problems that could potentially cause and what you can do to prevent them. Hey, Kelsey.
Hey, good morning. So if you haven't experienced it yourself, I'm sure you've heard of it. Maskne, a breakout that's happening underneath the mask because we have to wear them all day now when we're out and about. So I spoke to Beth Brogan with Ascension Dermatology, and she tells me they have seen more patients coming in with new breakouts, both adults and teens. She tells me there are some things that you can do to prevent this maskne from happening. She says most importantly, you need to be using a new mask every single day, washing the reusable ones, and making sure your skin is clean before putting the mask on.
Wiping off your face periodically throughout the day if you are able to take a mask break. For our female patients, I recommend they not wear makeup underneath the mask because that can make it worse.
Brogan says any over-the-counter products that work for regular acne will, of course, work for maskne, but nothing is going to be an overnight fix, and you just need to be patient and use something that is mild. Now, the governor's mask mandate is set to end on September 27th, and Brogan says using a 100% cotton mask like this one is going to be more breathable and make it less likely for those breakouts. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. Well, some Hoosiers have started to get unusual checks from the IRS, but they're not a scam. Coming up, WRTV Investigates explains what they are and why that money is being sent. Todd.
And Lauren, the biggest issue for you as you walk out the door this morning is going to be the patchy dense fog. A dense fog advisory is in place to the north and to the west of Indianapolis, and now we're starting to get in a few school delays in Montgomery County. You can see in Montgomery County the visibility 0.3 of a mile in Crawfordsville. Other areas seeing some rainfall. We'll talk about everything that's happening this morning and also look ahead in your forecast towards the Labor Day weekend coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time right now is 6:15. We're keeping a close eye on your roads this morning as we do have some fog out there. That fog creating some school delays this morning, so that includes North Montgomery and South Montgomery. Those school districts on the 2-hour delay. We'll continue to keep our eyes on the fog and let you know if any other school districts or roads are impacted this morning. Well, millions of Americans are getting deposits and checks from the IRS. WRTV Investigates uncovered that these payments are not a scam.
The rebound is our commitment to ensuring systems in place are helping Hoosiers get back on their feet. Our Kara Kenny explains why you could be getting the money and what you should do.
The IRS is sending interest payments to 14 million taxpayers, including people right here in Indiana. It will either show up in your mailbox as a check or be directly deposited into your bank account.
At first I wondered what it was because I didn't have any idea what it was.
Doretta New received $30 unexpectedly from the IRS. We first introduced you to the Indianapolis grandmother back in May when she was worried because she hadn't received her tax refund or her federal stimulus payment. Doretta finally got her refund and stimulus money in June, but in mid-August, a surprise payment from the IRS.
The interest payment just came like 3 weeks ago. It just showed up on a whim in my bank account as a deposit, and it said IRS, and that's all it said. And it's like, okay, what's this?
The IRS announced this week people who received these interest payments filed their 2019 federal income tax returns by the July 15th deadline and were owed refunds. Because the filing deadline was moved to July 15th, the law requires the IRS to pay interest calculated from the original April filing date. These interest payments average about $18, and most are issued separately from tax refunds. If you got your refund by direct deposit, it will come that way. Everyone else will get a check with a note that reads INT amount. But just know you must report it as income in your federal tax return next year.
And it's like, why are we getting taxed on that? which makes absolutely no sense.
The refund interest only applies to individual taxpayers. Businesses are not eligible. Working for you, Kara Kenny, WRTV.
Kara, thank you. To find out how the payments are calculated and if you could be eligible, you can go to this story, WRTV.com and the WRTV app. It is 6:17. Let's check back in with Todd this morning.
Hey, good morning, Nicole. Happy Thursday, everybody at home. We're dealing with a couple things this morning. We'll call them some minor issues. Overall, though, it's going to be a decent day for us before a cold front arrives later on this evening. So let's break it down for you this morning. And the issues I'm talking about are some patchy, dense fog and some scattered showers that are moving out of the area currently. By this afternoon, partly cloudy skies. It turns into a warm and muggy day, but a decent day for us. And then as the cold front comes through this evening, another spot shower will be possible, but that's most likely not until sunset and then beyond. Dense fog advisory for the counties you see in gray, which does include Hamilton up into the Howard County area, over towards Tippecanoe County, and then down into the Terre Haute area. The green that you see there, that's a flash flood watch that's in place, basically just south of our area, and that's because that's where the bulk of the rainfall has been. We did have some light rain showers move through the Bloomington area and Rushville. Those are on their way out of the area here this morning, and we can expand out, and you can see all that heavy rainfall right along the Ohio River, and the storm track really going all the way back down into Texas, but that'll all start to move to the east because also to our north, there's not as much in the way of rain, but this front is going to drop through our area later on this evening. It comes through, I think, almost essentially dry. I'll show you on TrueCast here. There's going to be just the chance of a spot shower as it does come through, but once the rain showers move out this morning and the fog burns off, we have a really nice day. But you see that little thin band of rain there on your screen, and as I advance it, you see it drop through the area. That is the cold front. It basically starts around 7 o'clock to the north and then 11 o'clock to the south as those showers come through, but most of you are probably back home with sunset being a little before 8:15 here now this time of year. And so as those showers come through, it's nothing major, but again, there will be another round of an opportunity for a little rainfall this evening. Temperatures this morning hold pretty steady till that fog burns off, and then we're quickly warming up to a high today of 82 degrees with those partly cloudy skies here this afternoon. But once that front goes through tonight, the humidity drops 57 degrees tomorrow morning. And tomorrow is going to be an absolutely terrific day. Sunny skies, virtually no humidity around, and temperatures that'll be in the mid to upper 70s for your afternoon highs. So get out there and enjoy your day tomorrow. As we get into Labor Day weekend, the humidity will start to creep up as the weekend goes on. Still plenty of sunshine, even though there is a spot storm chance in the forecast both Sunday and Monday as that humidity starts to build. But the overnight lows still remain very comfortable. Saturday morning right around 55 degrees, Sunday morning right around 60 degrees. Then as we get into next week, Labor Day is about 84 degrees. The big question mark in the forecast is Tuesday, Wednesday, and beyond. As models differ, we could get some really cool air coming in. Some models that keep it off to our west, so we'll split the difference right now and keep the temperatures in the mid to upper 70s for most of the area Tuesday and Wednesday with a few spotty showers. But until then, really a nice stretch of weather through the holiday weekend.
All right, that's great, Todd. Thank you so much. As you're heading out on the roads this morning, not only will you need to watch out for some patchy fog out there, you can see a little bit of a haze here from our camera at I-65 and US 52 up in Lebanon. We do have some construction that's ongoing in this area. The off-ramp from northbound I-65 to US 52 closed through the end of October, and the on-ramp from US 52 to southbound I-65, that's closed through the end of October as well. So just keep that in mind. Traffic moving past this area is traveling up a speed both northbound and southbound. No crashes right now out on your roads to slow you down. This morning, an Indiana law that purges many people from the voter rolls has been blocked. A lawsuit filed by Common Cause Indiana claims the voter registration laws violates the National Voter Registration Act. The law in question was supposed to compare people in other states to find out if somebody moved away. If they did, the state would remove them from the voter roll. The National Voter Registration Act lays out specific guidelines for a voter to be removed from the rolls.
A bigger paycheck is coming your way. Coming up, we'll explain how the new payroll tax break works and why you might have to pay it back so you don't waste your money.
And paying off debt can be even more of a challenge during a pandemic. But coming up on GMA, how a Georgia couple managed to pay off $75,000 in debt in under a year. Their tips for people in debt everywhere. Good morning, Kokomo, Knightstown, and Carmel. The time right now is 6:22. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The time right now is 6:25 here on your Thursday. Nicole, it is time to talk about what is trending at 6.
AMC and Regal movie theaters are paying tribute to the late Chadwick Boseman. The chains are re-releasing one of his most popular films, 42. The 2013 Jackie Robinson baseball biopic was one of Boseman's first major movie roles. The film will be shown in more than 700 locations nationwide starting this week. In a somber coincidence, Boseman died on Jackie Robinson Day, which MLB honored on August 28th instead of April 15th this year due to the coronavirus pandemic.
Pokemon's Pikachu and J-pop artist and comedian Pico Taro have teamed up for a brand new song amid the coronavirus pandemic. The song and video were released at the Pokemon Virtual Festival in Japan. Pico Taro says that he wanted to create a song for kids who aren't able to play outside because of the pandemic.
And in Indianapolis, 4th graders turning scrap metal into cold, hard cash and using it to say thank you. 9-year-old Hunter Michael Hutchins is on a mission to raise money for first responders. The 4th grader combined those earnings with his own birthday money to buy snacks for the hospital staff at Franciscan Health. Hunter Michael's already donated more than $2,000 and has set a new goal to double it by next week. Good for him. That is such an inspiring thing to see. What a good story there. Let's toss it out to Todd. Todd, depending on where you're at this morning, you're walking out the door to a mix of weather this morning.
Yeah, you know, some of you are dealing with dense fog, and there's a dense fog advisory that is posted north and to the west of Indianapolis. There's some showers moving out of southern locations. Indianapolis kind of in the middle and enjoying just kind of quiet weather here this morning. So no matter what you're seeing, whether it's the fog or it's the showers or just plain old cloud cover, as we work our way throughout the morning and the sun comes up, we'll burn that off. And as the skies start to clear, our temperatures will start to warm. And I do think it turns into a pretty nice afternoon for us here across the area with partly cloudy skies. It'll be a little on the muggy side with temperatures in the 80s, but a cold front will come through this evening, probably around sunset for most of us. Soon as that front comes through, it'll drop the humidity. Temperatures by tomorrow morning will be in the 50s. It sets us up for an absolutely fabulous Friday forecast, and that nice weather is going to carry into the weekend. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. President Trump's payroll tax break is now in effect, so you could see some more money in your paycheck. But it may not be as good as it sounds, as our consumer reporter John Matarese explains that break may need to be paid back so you don't waste your money.
Get ready for a bigger paycheck. The president's payroll tax holiday takes effect next payday for many workers, but it may not be quite the gift you expect. The president's executive order suspending the Social Security payroll tax took effect September 1st. If you earn $50,000 a year, you could see an extra $100 in each paycheck through the end of the year, according to CNBC. The order suspends collection of the 6% Social Security tax, but you might not want to spend it on a big screen TV or home improvement project just yet, because at this point it's only a tax deferral, not a tax cut. CNBC says employers will have to double their withholding the first 4 months of next year, meaning you'll see a pay cut January 1st. For that reason, some employers are not passing along the tax break right now. There's always the chance the president and Congress will forgive the tax breaks. You don't have to give it back, but for now, you do have to repay it starting in January, so we don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. Some charges in a Tippecanoe County neglect case sparking global attention have been dropped. Michael Barnett and now ex-wife Christine Barnett were charged with abandoning their daughter they adopted from Ukraine. A judge dismissed charges against Michael connected to the belief that the daughter was a minor when they left her in Lafayette and moved to Canada. The judge made a similar ruling in Christine's case last month.
A state law that purges many people from the voter rolls has been blocked. A lawsuit filed by Common Cause Indiana claims voter registration laws violates the National Voter Registration Act. The law in question was supposed to compare people in other states to find out if somebody moved. A federal judge ruled that the law could accidentally remove an active voter from the rolls.
Notre Dame students are back in the classroom. The university moved to virtual studies for 2 weeks due to a spike in COVID cases just 8 days after the fall semester started. According to the Notre Dame COVID dashboard, 591 positive COVID cases have been reported. The vast majority of them are undergraduates.
A student staple at Purdue announced it is closing its doors for good because of COVID-19. According to the university's student paper, The Exponent, the owners of the Neon Cactus terminated their lease after 28 years. This popular nightclub was the home for many generations' college memories, dancing, singing, and these brightly colored cactus cups. Here at 6:30, I want to thank you for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. As we're starting your day, we want to let you know about a few school delays out there due to the fog. Those include North Montgomery, South Montgomery, and North Putnam schools. So, Nicole, that is something folks need to keep in mind.
Yeah, and Todd, you've been telling us all morning the fog is not an issue across the entire state. What should people expect as they head out the door?
Yeah, you know, as you see that picture there next to me on the bottom of your screen there, and you can see some clearing skies and blue sky there as we start off the morning. You're exactly right, Nicole. It just really depends on where you live here this morning and what the weather you're seeing in your neighborhood is. To the north and to the west where we have some of those school delays, that's where we are dealing with the patchy, dense fog. You notice the visibility in Kokomo is 1/10 of a mile. I've used the example here all morning long. You go just to the north, visibility in Peru, not an issue at all. You go to the west, and visibility in Crawfordsville is just 1/10 of a mile, and it's 3/10 down in Terre Haute. And to the south and to the east, visibility not an issue at all. The areas in gray is where that dense fog advisory is in place. The green to the south is some flooding concerns, but that's basically mainly out of our area. Temperatures right now range from 60 in Kokomo, where it's a lot cooler. The skies cleared there earlier, and with those cooler temperatures, that's why the fog has settled in. Bloomington, where you've had clouds and some showers this morning at 71. The showers, though, for the most part, are moving out of the area. Seymour still seeing some light rain, as well as North Vernon, and that is just about it for central Indiana. In between the two areas of rain you see to our south and then to the north near Green Bay, there are partly cloudy skies. That's what we enjoy throughout the afternoon hours today. So we start off mostly cloudy, turn it partly cloudy this afternoon. Once that front comes through this evening, though, great weather for tomorrow. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a live look right now at traffic. This is I-69 here near Cumberland Road. You can see traffic to our northeast is traveling smoothly, both northbound and southbound. I'm not monitoring any major crashes to slow you down around the road, so that is great news this morning. With all the focus on COVID-19, it's easy to forget another respiratory illness that will soon become a concern, and Nicole, that is the flu.
Yeah, experts are warning if there are rises in cases of both the flu and COVID-19 at the same time, we could face what they are calling a twindemic. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning with the information you need to know. Alyssa.
Good morning. Every year, health officials warn us we need to get our flu vaccine, but they're saying that this year it's especially important because COVID-19 cases are still so prominent across the U.S. In a normal year, around 60,000 people in the U.S. die from flu-related illness, and more than 800,000 people are hospitalized. That's according to CDC staff, who also say in an average year, fewer than half Americans get their flu shot. They hope this year, more people will step up and get the vaccine and prevent a surge in flu patients as local hospitals, where staff are still working to help COVID-19 patients.
If enough people get vaccinated, we can reduce the number of flu cases and therefore reduce the burden that's already placed on the hospitals by the pandemic.
In preparation for what they hope is an increase in people seeking flu vaccines, public health officials are getting their hands on millions of extra flu vaccine doses to ensure everyone who wants a flu shot can get one. And several local pharmacies have already put their signs up telling people that they have flu shots available, so you can go to your local pharmacy and get your flu vaccine there, or we have more details on where you can get a flu shot on our website, WRTV.com. Reporting live, I'm Alyssa Donovan, WRTV.
Alyssa, thank you. The time right now is 6:34. Let's take a look at the latest number of COVID-19 cases here in Indiana. 871 new cases of the virus were reported on Wednesday. That means since the pandemic began, nearly 96,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. The state health department also reporting 13 additional coronavirus-related deaths. Since March, more than 3,100 Hoosiers with the virus have died. Here is a closer look at how the virus is impacting our hospitals here in Indiana. This morning, nearly half of the state's ICU beds are being used by patients who do not have COVID-19. Patients with the virus are using a little more than 10% of those ICU beds. As of now, 40% of Indiana's beds are open, along with 82% of the state's ventilators.
The state is releasing a new tool to help local leaders determine whether to learn remotely or in person. It's a color-coded map depicting the level of community spread in Indiana's counties. The colors are blue, yellow, orange, and red. Blue is the least restrictive and red is the most. A county's color code will be determined by the number of new cases and the percent positivity rate, and corresponds with recommendations for school districts.
Blue indicates minimal community spread. The recommendations would be that schools operate all grades in person, but limit activities where social distancing is not feasible. Red counties are experiencing high community spread. For these counties, the recommendations would be that grade schools could remain in person or consider hybrid learning, and that middle and high schools consider virtual learning.
Dr. Bach says these are recommendations for school districts and not requirements.
Well, school districts in Indiana will not lose state funding after going all virtual during the pandemic. On Wednesday, State Board of Education voted to change the rules on the funding for students who are learning online. That updated formula will count virtual students the same as in-person students for funding purposes. Some state lawmakers had warned that under the current law, per-student funding would drop to 85% for online students. The change means that the state will fully fund school districts that have the most students either learning at home or part of a hybrid learning model. Another student count will happen in February when the state plans to return to its regular funding formula. Well, last week, Governor Holcomb extended the mask up mandate for another month, and many Hoosiers are finding themselves having to wear a mask all day long. So this morning, our own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live with the problems that could potentially cause and what you can do to prevent it. Hey, Kelsey.
Hey, good morning. So mask acne, or some people are calling it maskne, is something a lot of people are dealing with right now because they're having to wear these masks all the time, whether it be at the gym, at work, or at the grocery store. And that is causing problems right here in this area of people having breakouts. But there are some things you can do to prevent it.
The mask acne is really from just the occlusion of the mask and the dirt and the sweat and the oil that builds up underneath the mask.
Beth Brogan works at Ascension Dermatology. She says they saw a rise in maskne earlier this year in healthcare workers.
Now I'm seeing it more in teenagers and younger school-age kids who've been wearing their masks to school.
Obviously, wearing a mask for a long period of time can make you prone to maskne. And Brogan says starting with a clean face and a clean mask are the first steps to preventing it.
To cleanse your face every morning with maybe a soap-free cleanser or something like that. Maybe prevent to the oil and buildup, maybe wiping off your face periodically throughout the day if you are able to take a mask break. For our female patients, I recommend they not wear makeup underneath the mask because that can make it worse.
She tells me any over-the-counter products you use for regular acne will work for maskne, but she says you need to choose something that's mild.
Unfortunately, there's no quick fix though, so you should know that any of those medicines that say they're going to be quick are probably not, and you want to use things that are gentle because you don't really want to strip the skin.
The governor's mask up mandate is set to expire on September 27th as of right now. And Dr. Brogan recommends wearing a 100% cotton mask. She says those are more breathable and less likely to cause those breakouts. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. A Boone County deputy can appeal a decision to fire him over a missed COVID-19 test. On Wednesday, a merit board voted to terminate Tobias Shepard. Shepard told the merit board he had a vacation planned during his scheduled test. He reached out to leadership saying he would be gone and asked to reschedule. Officials granted his request but say they assumed he was going out of state. He later posted photos showing he was in southern Indiana. The Sheriff's Department policy says all employees must attend scheduled COVID-19 tests unless they are out of state.
It was reasonable for me to believe that what I did, I followed to the letter. I did not refuse to take a test. I did take a test. I didn't miss my test. I took my test. I followed a directive that I thought to be correct at the time.
Boone County Sheriff Mike Nielsen disagrees. He tells WRTV the policy is about upholding the department's mission of protecting and serving the community.
We needed to make sure that the message is very clear out there that this virus is killing people. The positivity rate continues to go up, and we got to do everything we can to protect the people, the inmates that they've entrusted me to care for, and the public, and mostly the staff. And that's what this is about, just making sure we do that.
Well, Sheriff Nielsen says since April, 5 other department employees have been terminated due to missing a COVID test. Those were all civilian employees.
Well, he was one of the biggest sports celebrities in the world in the 1970s. That's because he was one of the best pitchers baseball had ever seen. Next, the passing of a man who was a fan favorite in Cincinnati, but whose heart belonged to the Big Apple. It's 6:40. We'll be right back.
Sign. Seaver with a pause, the check and the pitch. He bounces to first base. Dreesen has it. He goes to the bag and Seaver's got it. Tom Seaver has pitched his first Major League no-hitter.
Tom Seaver thrilled Cincinnati Reds fans for more than 5 seasons, but before that, in New York, he was the franchise for the Mets. Seaver won 3 Cy Young Awards, led the Mets to 2 World Series, including the Miracle Mets Championship of 1969, and he set a Major League record of 9 consecutive seasons with 200 or more strikeouts. Last year, Seaver's family announced he was suffering from Lewy body dementia. Yesterday, the Baseball Hall of Fame announced that Tom Seaver died from complications caused by dementia as well as COVID-19. He was 75 years old.
Well, gyms are doing whatever they can to get people back in the buildings, but a public health expert is saying whether that's safe really depends on the precautions that your gym is taking. Dr. Jay Wolfson says there's a lot of factors that could make those facilities unsafe. That includes people not cleaning up after themselves and gym staff not properly monitoring the social distancing and sanitizing. Evidence shows that the COVID-19 can spread through aerosol and droplets, which last long enough to be inhaled. It can travel more aggressively when you're working out.
Just as when you yell and scream, and you'll be sweating, you'll be hyperventilating sometimes. So those droplet nuclei are going to come out, which means that the larger particles are likely going to rest on some of the equipment as well as in the air.
Well, Wolfson says that it may be hard for the gyms to monitor the gyms across the country, because the rules in different cities and states are different from each other. It's hard to know if a case is tied to your gym.
Well, it may be nice now, but winter will be here before we know it. Next, if you're looking for work, we'll show you who is hiring Hoosiers for the winter season. Todd.
And all morning long, we've been telling you that it really depends where you live this morning and the weather you're seeing. We're dealing with partly cloudy skies in Indianapolis. To the north, though, there's a dense fog advisory that's in place. In southern locations, you've been dealing with some rain, and there's the potential for some flooding in as far as southern Indiana. Despite all these hazards this morning, it turns into a pretty nice Thursday. We'll talk all about not only today's forecast, but look ahead to a fabulous Friday and your Labor Day weekend as well, coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:47 on your Thursday. Take a look at your screen on the right side. You can see that very foggy I-70. Look near Hazelwood Road towards Monrovia. That fog is causing a few school delays this morning, so listen up. South Montgomery, North Montgomery, and North Putnam schools. You guys are all on a 2-hour delay today. You can always check the latest delays right on the WRTV mobile app. At the top of the app, click on the red button that says school delays.
Well, temperatures are expected to be well into the 80s, but winter and the snow will be here before you know it. Now, INDOT is getting prepared with 2 statewide hiring events. INDOT will be hosting open interviews for more than 100 winter seasonal positions. They will take place Tuesday, September 15th and Thursday, October 15th at 11 locations across the state. Positions run from November through March with pay starting at $16 an hour. INDOT offers sign-on and retention bonuses. To learn more, register and find the location nearest you. Look for this story at hiringhoosiers.com.
Well, WRTV is raising money to help give kids the gift that keeps on giving, and we are talking about books. The goal is for our If You Give a Child a Book campaign. We want to empower kids with the literacy tools they need to be successful in school and in life. The campaign runs through September 11th. All you got to do is go to WRTV.com/giveabook, and there you can find more information. Thank you for your donation. Let's get a check of our forecast right now. It is Thursday, and Todd, we know the fog is causing some problems from some parts of our area this morning.
Yeah, you mentioned those school delays out there, Lauren, and there's also, you showed that traffic camera in some areas. You're exactly right. Some areas are just completely fine as far as visibilities go this morning, but the fog has really settled in to the west and north of Indianapolis. Visibilities right now range from next to nothing now, it says in Fishers, to 1/10 of a mile in Kokomo, 3/10 of a mile in Crawfordsville, and a 1/2 mile in Terre Haute. But you go south and east of Indianapolis, and it's not that bad. In fact, a look at Fairmount, 1 mile visibility. Just go a little over to the east in Muncie, and there's no visibility issues at all. So just be careful on the roadways. There is that dense fog advisory in northern and western locations until 10 a.m. this morning. At that point, the sun will burn all the fog off, and you'll be left with a decent day. In fact, you can see the skies clearing already to the north. That's one of the reasons why the fog has settled in there. We had some rain showers to the south this morning. They continue to push off towards the east. Just a few lingering rain showers in the Greensburg, Seymour area, as well as North Vernon, and that is just about it. So the round of rain from this morning will push off towards the east. You notice to the north, we have this batch of rain and also some cloud cover. This is actually a cold front that is going to come through, and this cold front is going to drop down to the south. As it comes through, though, there's really not much in the way of moisture with it. So going forward throughout the day from this point, the rain's basically done. The clouds will linger in the fog a little bit longer here this morning, but then we'll clear out and skies will be partly cloudy for much of the day. It's muggy today with temperatures in the low 80s, but there's that thin band of rain with that front that comes through. It's nothing more than a sprinkle very quickly, basically from sunset onward throughout the evening hour. So I really don't think it plays much of a factor in the forecast for us throughout the day today. As far as the rainfall goes, the difference will be the drop in humidity and the temperatures. This morning, low 60s to the north, 70s to the south. Everybody gets up into the low 80s this afternoon as those skies turn partly cloudy. Then overnight tonight, once that front goes through, look at the temperatures. Could see some upper 40s across the area tomorrow morning in northern locations, about 55 in Bloomington as well as Indy. And then tomorrow, it's just a terrific day. We go from that cool start in the morning to highs in the upper 70s with sunshine. And then looking ahead to Labor Day weekend, Saturday's great as well, 81 degrees with sunshine. Humidity comes up a bit for Sunday and Monday, and that brings a spot storm chance back into the forecast, but nothing major if you do have outdoor plans. And then a little unsettled in the forecast as we head into the middle of next week.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads. This is a live look in Fishers where visibility looks pretty good here. I-69 at 96th Street. Traffic is also traveling up to speed, so that's great news if you're heading both northbound or southbound. You shouldn't run into any issues here to our northeast in Hamilton County. Just one more thing I want to mention. If you notice some flashing lights, we do have fire crews working a fire reported at the Harbor Freight down in Greenwood. That's near County Road 900, that's Smith Valley Road and Madison Avenue. So just keep that in mind if you're heading out on the roads this morning. We'll have more news coming up just after the break. Stay with us.
time for Throwback Thursday, and today it's farewell to Fido and hello to Hamlet. 3 decades ago, Lauren, the hot new pet in Indy was the Vietnamese Pot Belly Pig.
All right, well, the pet pig pandemonium began on the East Coast in the 1980s, but by 1990, it made its way here. This pet pig named, yes, Hamlet. He was the big star if you decided to hoof it up to Petland store in the Castleton area. One of our WRTV favorites, Barbara Boyd, she went to the store to see why everyone was going hog wild.
You just want me to lift him up, put him on the floor?
I guess we didn't get to hear from Barbara Boyd. All right, well, unfortunately, we can tell you not long after her story aired here, cities and counties started enacting laws that barred the ownership of pigs as pets. You can always see more of this story on our website. They are kind of cute, Nicole, but
not my thing.
Not my thing. Not my jam.
Really cute, though.
Todd, you don't even have a pet right now, so I doubt you're going to be taking home a pet pig anytime soon.
Yep, and it's not on the horizon. Yeah, I'll tell you that, Lauren. No pet pigs in the Clausen household. That is for sure. All right, I'll go to the zoo or a farm if I want to see one. All right, outside right now we're dealing with some patchy, dense fog across parts of the area. It'll burn off pretty quickly from this point forward now that the sun is coming up. Could be a spot shower this afternoon as well. Tomorrow it's a whole new ball game. The humidity's way down. We start off in the 50s. It's a great day Friday, 77 with sunshine. Humidity does climb a little bit heading into the weekend as temperatures get back up into the mid 80s. But overall, Labor Day weekend dry, just a spot storm chance both Sunday and Monday.
All right, Todd, thanks. We're back here in 25 minutes. Have a great Thursday.